Hello, I'm Matt O'Driscoll, and I'm the lead producer at Turtle Rock Studios on Back for Blood.
So Matt, you're finally people are able to play their hands on with the game. Obviously that weren't a technical alpha. What's it been like seeing so many people play your game these last few days?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. We're opening up to early access, and then we're going completely open up to the whole wide world after that. But what it is for us, it's like super valuable information. Like you said, the closed alpha, we were only on PC. We had a smaller subset of players. Now we're really out in the wild. So we got that time. We got I think we're like 2 months away, or just over 2 months away from launch. So we have a little bit of time to gather some of this data, see how people are playing, and give us a bit of time to hopefully tune stuff and really get it honed down for our launch. There's a lot of tools that we give the players to do in the open beta. We haven't, I think we've kept all the cards open, all the weapons are there, kind of the accessories, the upgrades, the throwables. So there's a ton of stuff in there that players can use and mess around with. And as much as we play test and iterate much as we can in the office, now we're out in the big wide world. We're going to get some real valuable data. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a little bit scary at times, but it's what we do, right? It's why we do these betas.
You want to talk a little about the PvP mode we played yesterday, which is a really interesting mode. I see a lot of lessons from Evolve in there. Can you talk about what you learned from Evolve and you applied specifically to the PvP mode in Back for Blood?
I think we've kind of made it definitely try to do it a little bit quicker. Make sure that these matches end. So it's called Swarm mode, and so the arena is always going to be coming in on you over a certain amount of time. Call it Swarm because there's like a swarm of infected insects that have basically surrounded the area, and they're closing in and in and in. As the round progresses, we're kind of like forcing that action, forcing the players to fight each other, and it's kind of like it's a best of 3 who can survive the longest game. And so we kind of found internally matches are like 2 minutes or so. So even if you go to full 3 matches, you're looking at around 10 minutes, because in between rounds, cleaners have time to scavenge items in the world before the actual match starts. So we set crates around so you can find better weapons, more bandages, more pills, accessories, that kind of thing. And then the Ridden have a little bit of time on their hands because they can use something we call the ZMS, the zombie mutation system. And that's kind of a system where you can add points to different abilities across each zombie. But kind of a big difference here is you earn points during the match. So let's say you're playing as an exploder and you went in, we managed to crowd control some cleaners, and you're like, I didn't really do much damage there. I'll be like, hey, I can throw some points into your damage mid-game. I don't have to wait for the round to end. I can click a button, I've earned 100 points, throw it into your damage. Ooh, that 100's managed to knock you up one. And then next time you're gonna do some more damage. So it's kind of snappier, forcing the action. And yeah, we have these kind of different systems. Actually, the cleaners also have cards. You can make decks in PvP the same you can in PvE. The only difference there is at PvP, right from day one, we're like, here are your cards. These are your PvP cards. Make your deck from these. So you're not unlocking any new cards in PvP at all. And I think we're going to give cleaners like starting decks as well. So kind of clearly label them. This would be like a medic build out. This would be a utility. This would be support, or whatever exactly the names are. So yeah, that's kind of our PvP in a nutshell, and it's really just trying to get that action going. It's fast paced. You're not really going to have much time to pause for breath once it starts.
Yeah, I've noticed that you have a really emphasis. I mean, obviously on the cleaner side, but even more on the Ridden side with teamwork, comboing, like slowing people down with the stinger, and then coming in with the crusher, and then doing AOE, and like it heavily. I could see a ton of meta potential in this online mode.
Yeah, and I think we're going to find out some of this stuff right over these next couple of weeks when people get their hands on it. And you're exactly right. I mean, I'm a big fan of playing the Stinger, the Hocker variation. So I'm kind of staying away from the action, lurking around on the rooftops. But yeah, my goal is I'm trying to pin. I'm looking for separation. Oh, that guy's just gone over there. Let's pin him. And then, I've pinned. And then, like you say, a bruiser could come in and do like the pound attack, or maybe like you're running in with an exploder. So yeah, there's like these different combos. That the Ridden can do and play and try and work out together. And as I say, yeah, not only it's the Ridden that you're controlling. There's also a common horde in PvP. You can upgrade that as well. So I could throw some points in, like I could make nastier Ridden in there. We have like we call it the charred version. You get too close to them, they're going to set you on fire, or a volatile one. So if you if you explode them too close to you, they kind of do acid area damage. So yeah, you can upgrade them, the intensity they come out with. So there's a lot of stuff you can throw at the cleaners with that, as well as your own abilities. So yeah, there's a lot. Again, like I kind of said, we've given all these tools to the players to like have fun with and do what they want with, and we're gonna see what comes out of it. It's super exciting for us as developers.
It's really interesting too, because you have these rounds that what I've gauged from what I played is like they don't tend to last longer than 5 minutes each because of the swarm coming in. So they're nice, quick little rounds about beating the other player's time to survive, which makes it really interesting. But what made you decide to go for a swarm kind of standard map layout rather than do what another zombie game did, where you're just kind of attacking the survivors in an open world kind of larger map to stop them from reaching the exit?
I think it's like it's kind of that we wanted the engagement. We wanted them to be, right, if it goes 3, 2, 1, Ridden are coming, that's it. As I'm a cleaner, I'm probably hearing a vomit, someone getting vomited on almost straight away, right? And so it's like, well, where are they coming from? What's happening? Like you said, 5 minutes, maybe that's long. Again, we're not exactly sure. We play it a lot, so if I might end up in a match and I'm playing against like a couple of QA guys and maybe the designer, I'm like, oh, okay, this match isn't going to last as long as if I'm playing some of my other fellow producers. But yeah, like around that 2-minute mark, and it's just get into the action, not too much waiting around, and yeah, they're on top of each other and they're fighting straight away. And because it's quick, it's snappy. It's not like, oh, what did I do wrong there? Did we have too many medics? Did we go in with like 3 medics and you're an assault? Or maybe I'll make a build that's better tailored to me as a cleaner. And then again, when you're messing around with ZMS, where are you going to put these different points? So yeah, there's so much stuff there for people to play with, and they get to do it, straight away. Let's not wait around. That swarm's closing in all the time.
Talk about the card system, because you have a deck, but at the beginning, before the match, you're kind of randomly given, I think, is it 5 cards to pick from 4 times or 3 times, and it's kind of, you do pick a deck with up to 15 cards, but it is random what you get in those 3 pulls. Can you talk about what goes into like balancing that and what deciding how to create cards so that they're not overpowered, so they're equally important to one another, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so you're right. So in PvE, you get a starter deck that you can just play with from the off if you want to. Whatever card you choose first, that's always going to be in your loadout. So first card is always in, whatever. So if there's something you always really like, just make sure that's number 1 in your list on your deck. And then the other ones are kind of drawn by priority on where they are in the list. And so in terms of balancing, we as a studio, our philosophy is iterate and playtest, right? So we want the whole studio to playtest every day, and so we put a lot of emphasis on keeping our build stable, making sure that we at the end of the day we can give it a good hour or so, and might be something we concentrate. Well, today we're concentrating on PvP, and we got these cards, or in this case it's PvE, and we're introducing these cards. And so some of the stronger cards, like something that might give you extra healing, might on the flip side give you a negative reaction. So it might give you like less stamina or something like that. So we do have some cards that, while it looks, oh, that's powerful, oh, wait a minute, it is taking away something that I can use as well. We have the ability to tweak those cards relatively easily internally. So again, over these next 2 weeks, if we start to see, oh, we didn't quite get that one right, we do have some time between now and launch to kind of tweak some numbers there.
Speaking to what's been happening in the world with the COVID and stay-at-home orders, has that affected the game's development at all? Was there like a learning process of working at home, if you guys did that, or?
yeah, so where were we? March 2020. We're all sat in an office, and then the next day we're all at home. And we were never really a studio that kind of did a lot of work from home. So there was a lot of setup. We had to get people equipment. We had to make sure that they had the lines back into the office so that they could use their PCs there remotely. So, but we had everyone pretty much up and running within a week of the stay-at-home order. And then we had some other teething troubles. How do we get consoles out to people? People live in different spaces. So if I said to you, I've got to send you 5 consoles, like,
Yeah,
where
dev kits,
do I put them? Yeah, they're big as well. They make a lot of noise.
They're big, yeah, they're big, expensive, and some of them are hard to come by, especially now.
So, we had ways of you could connect to dev kits at the office and do testing like that, kind of remotely. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a challenge, but some interesting stuff came out of it as well. In that, we hired during the pandemic, and we hired a lot of people because we were finishing the game. We still didn't change our hiring structure of who we wanted to bring in and who we needed to kind of finish the game, but a lot of that was before we didn't worry about where they were located. Could this person work from home? Yes, they can. Are we going to bring them into the office when we fully open up again, whenever that is, touch wood? No, we're probably not. We've kind of changed our policy a little bit on that, which is interesting for Turtle Rock Studios. We used a lot of messaging stuff, and again, kind of some interesting stuff that came out of using a lot of Slack. Like sometimes it can drain a lot of your day, right? Because there's a lot of messages, because we don't have that one-on-one interaction where if I just turn to someone sat next to me and talk to them. But it's a lot of screen sharing stuff now, and just we could get online and share a screen and run through what's happening on a map for an art review, for example. And it's easy for us to have 20 people on that if we need it, right? Whereas before, we wouldn't have the room at the studio either for 20 people to gather around a desk or a meeting room. So ups and downs, pros and cons. But where are we now? August. So what have we done? Like nearly a year and a half. Yeah, nearly a year and a half of this. Few of us have trickled back to the office slowly these last couple of months, particularly our QA department. Kind of important because we're shipping the game to have them on site, so it's a little bit easier for them to push builds around when they've got like the faster internet at the office than they have at home.
Was it difficult for you personally, like as a producer, making sure everyone hits those milestones, managing more of the team member via online rather than having to go to a cubicle, knock on a door, or call a meeting and have everyone come in? Just for your personal experience as lead producer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. There was a lot of, like I say, Slack. I became living in Slack almost at times because, we've got all these different channels, and whereas devs will tailor the channels they're in, I'm an animator, I want to be in these certain channels. As a producer, you kind of, what we're like, right? We're nosy by nature. So we're almost in all the channels. So there's a lot of time where you're doing online meetings. And yeah, so we kind of went for the philosophy, let's just over communicate to start with, right? Because it could be something could be easily missed while we're like this. So a lot of what we were doing was pushing communication out, pulling communication in. And so yeah, I think I did become, it felt like I became busier, but I think there's a lot of that because you're almost tied to the desk. Whereas at the office, it'd be like, oh, I'm going to go get up and go and speak to whoever I need to speak to. You miss the kitchen talk, you're making a cup of tea. Oh, how's it going? Oh, you're doing that. And the little snippets, you'd catch them. So you had to be a lot more on top of it. And kind of arranging a lot more virtual meetings. We tried to set up virtual pods and things like that. It was a bit of experimentation along the way. What worked, what didn't work. But we're like we said, we're 2 months away from launch. We've done a closed alpha from home. We've done the open beta, pushed all that through cert from home. Got all the consoles ready. It's been no mean feat, and I'm super proud of the team for reacting the way they did to it was pretty difficult times, pushing through and getting the game to where it is today.
I feel like that whole Evolve, which by the way, I really did enjoy that game. Very underappreciated game. I feel like there's so much you learn from that game that I see in Back 4 Blood, especially in the PvP mode, like the ideas and the concepts that you wanted to execute. you improved even more in the PvP mode. Can you talk about specifically stuff you've learned from that game and that you, because I asked you this question a little bit, but I don't think I got like a direct answer. What you brought into Back 4 Blood from specifically your experience on Evolve.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely little things that we've carried over. I mean, the VO, for example, in the PvE game, there's a lot of that banter, a lot of storytelling in the VO, back and forwards between the characters. Certainly, I think something that was successful on our past games, that we brought across. PvP, we had an arena back in the day. Now we've just got an arena all the time, right? We kept that swarm mode going, so we learnt a little bit from that. We kept the playable monsters in third person. It was definitely the right choice, something we've done again today. So we have first person and third person between the two. So, there's definitely little things that we learned that we've carried across. But it's kind of a mixed bag team wise. There's some people just, left, they're not here anymore, that work with Evolve. Some stayed. We've got a lot of new people that brought new ideas from other games, or other teams that they've worked with. So, there's a little bit of it there, but I think we learn, and I think what I'm hearing so far from the beta is we're getting some great feedback. People are enjoying it, so I'm super confident we're going to have a good, successful launch.
One of the things that I really like about your game is it's a spiritual success. It's a spiritual successor to another game, which I mentioned here, but you expand on that game in tremendous ways, not only with the cards, but with the amount of weapons. And each of the guns has, I think, is it 3 or 4 different attachments that you can pick up randomly or buy in the campaign mode as well as the PvP mode?
Yeah, there's all sorts of attachments that you can add to guns, like you said, as accessories. Different guns in the world. Some you can buy, some you can find. Again, we do a similar thing close to some of the cards. Like, be careful when you add some of these accessories, because we will do sometimes we'll put like a negative thing. So you'll see 3 green arrows. Oh, this is guns better. But what is it? What's getting worse if you swap this in with your current accessory or add this accessory? What will it affect something that I really enjoy doing? So yeah, we really encourage people to be careful, and I want to add this accessory, but don't be too. Oh, look, green arrows. Well, there's also some red, so be careful there. Yeah, so there's a lot. Again, I kind of touched on it earlier, but there's a lot of tools that we're just throwing out there for the players. Yeah, here's all these accessories, plus and minus, positives, negatives. Here's all these different guns, different utility slots that you can upgrade to. So yeah, just try all these different build outs, try all these different weapons, and let's see what the public do.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know I'm talking about Swarm mode a lot, but just because that mode just fascinates me with the amount of depthness to the combat and strategy. I mean, not only do you have, like you mentioned, the Locust that closes in every minute or so, or 2 minutes, but where the zombies spawn, they have to be so far away from somebody, they can't be in line of sight. Like, just that alone in a 4-player team lends itself to a tremendous amount of meta and strategy alone about where to spawn, how to spawn, and how to keep, if you're on the cleaners team, how to keep those people from spawning in certain areas. It just goes so deep. It's just incredible to see how that much meta in your PvP mode.
One we did, I was playing last Friday. What we do every now and again, sort of every few weeks, we try and do a whole company play test. It's like, pencils down. I know everyone's got a lot of work to do, but we need your help. Let's everyone play. And we kind of split the day between PvE and PvP. And I was playing as Ridden. And one of the people I was playing with were like, "Ooh, look at them! They're selecting this gun." And I'm like, "What do you mean they're selecting this gun? Are you like watching? Are you looking in the menu?" And they're like, "No, I'm in ghost mode. I'm stood over them, watching them select weapons out of a crate." Now, when I'm going in, I'm like, "Where should I spawn? Where should I spawn? Where's the best place for me to spawn?" I'm kind of in a panic. I've got to find a good spawn point. They're like, "Come down and watch them." It's like, "Oh yeah." I could literally just watch what they're up to. And it's just, like you said, different ideas of how people play the game and try and get a leg up.
Yeah, I think you'll see that when the game publicly releases too, the people breaking it down, the best strategies to use, because we figured that out quickly. Like, we wish you could see what they're picking up. We're like, wait, you can't. We just go right over them and see what's in the box. And that's exactly what we did. It was great. Yeah, Matt, so when does your game come out? What platforms will it be on? And do you guys plan on crossplay at launch?
October 12th. We launch on consoles, current gen, next gen, and PC. I think we are Windows Store, Epic Store, and Steam. And yeah, at launch, we're planning cross-gen and cross-play.
God bless Evolve, man. That game did not get the love it deserved.
And there's so much I could say about it. I'd get...